Do?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was—
Shh. But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still— Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnigan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnigan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnigan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were... always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still want...
This is perfect! I'll have everybody's mouths...
I see a medic and supply off.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them. What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Halt! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menencia. I command you.
Threat to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
This one's mine!
It's almost strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Dragon!
Mega Red! Lightning! Arctic!
You picked the wrong one!
Here's a healing arm!
Try this!
First aid!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Here's a healing arm!
You're mine!
First aid! Let them know I can handle this.
Try harder!
Where are you going? Radiant! Now, Radiant!
No further!
Mission! You picked the wrong fight! Take this!
Now, Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Strike!
You're
mine!
Rotating pile driver!
You're finished!
Negative gate!
Rending you a bloody
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
Swallow blade! Be still!
In here!
Try this! Inferno blade! You're mine!
Where are you going? Do it!
Lightning thrust!
Tempest!
Soaring light!
Downfall!
Here I come!
Spread!
I can carve through one! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Burn in hell!
Raging storm!
Dragon form! Explosive ring! I'm ready! Go me! In an instant! Impact block! Not a chance!
Gemini
Escape!
In a bind?
I'm ready! I'm not done!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I see one, eh? You're take down their defenses! I owe you one!
With the enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see them!
Dragon form!
Here's a healing arm!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Magic and Bam!
Finish with the earth! Now you see what I can do! My field! Rending you apart! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll pick it up.
Okay!
I never miss!
You're finished!
Raging Cascade!
Resonate with the earth!
Here, let me help! Freeze, Lancer!
Can't get out of this! Destruction! It's over! Ready and win!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! My turn! I'm not done!
Lock! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
I need to be stronger.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
You got spirit!
Thank you! You're mine! Flash! Damn it! You're mine! You escape! Strike! Burn!
In here! More for the side! That'll bring you down!
I'm not done! Resident! You're mine! No further! Flash! I'm not done!
Don't get in my way!
Dazzle! Dragon Swarm! Try harder! Dragon Swarm! Try this! Explosive Ray!
Get toasty!
Burn strike! No chance! Totally! In an instant! Impact block! My turn! Soaring light spear!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Negative gate! You picked the wrong punch!
Here, I don't want
Try this!
Here, let me help.
Explosive Ray! Try harder! My turn!
Where are you going?
Try harder! Not a chance!
Now you see what I can do!
Dancing away! I owe you one! Here I come! Escape! Soaring light spear!
In here.
Dragon Swarm! This one keeps charging us!
That's what I see for. Get behind me.
Go! I'll leave it to you! Dragon Thrust! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! You're mine! I'm not done! Eat this!
Lightning orb.
Take this! Here, escape! Swarm Blade! Dragon Swarm! Ready and win! Explosive Blade! Take this!
Lightning orb.
No escape! Flash! Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
In here.
Raising you up! Bloody hell! Take this!
I'll
Smash you! You're mine! I have no limits! Here I come! Dragonfly Thrust! Here! Megasonic Thrust! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
Where
are you going?
Take that! No escape! Try harder! Burn!
Leave the charge now.
Begin! Thrust! Soaring light spear!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Dragon Swarm!
On the wind! Freeze Laser!
Try harder!
Here's a healing arc! Far enough!
Refill!
Take this! Here!
No escape! Time to let it rip! Rotating Begin!
This is some punishment.
You paid for that! The flaming side is yours! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Out of the woods, it seems.
Here, let me help!
And more of this to help burn out! Ignite! Here I come! Crush!
Resonate with the earth.
Soda! You're on! Dragon Swarm! Raising you alive! Come on!
Where are you going?
It's over! Try harder! Not a chance! No escape! Dragon Swarm!
Nothing gets by me!
Dragon Swarm!
Can you take it?
Forward that
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! In an instant! Impact drop!
With this, I can become even stronger. Here's a healing arc.
In a bind?
Forgive me.
And more of this will burn out! Soaring Light Spear!
Here's a healing arc! First aid!
You're mine!
I never miss!
You're finished!
Heal force!
Eat this!
Hard heal! Hear
No
my call!
escape!
Hard spread!
Destruction!
Now!
Finish! Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more! My turn!
Back into the fray!
Dragon Swarm! Pierce!
Raging Cascade!
Megasonic Thrust! Pierce! Megasonic Thrust! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Here I come! Dragon Swarm! Begin! Take this! Dragon Swarm! Here I come! Here I come! It's on! You're on!
Do it!
I'm not lost! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
My exploits are bearing fruit.